Hi, this is the third and final installment of a few videos where locals have been sharing what it's like living in Los Angeles. What follows is the full interview with Jeff Easton, a software engineer who came to LA from Seattle for a career opportunity, and then, just after getting settled in, the gig vanished. But Jeff dug in and built a life in LA's tech community, all while embracing the city's unique vibe and hustle. Jeff's journey is a story of adaptation, grit, and unexpected turns. If you're new here, I'm Tony, a local realtor who makes videos about LA real estate and what it's like living here. With that, let's go.
So my name is Jeff Easton, and where I'm from Seattle originally, living in Los Angeles now for decades. And I'm a software engineer and have been for decades.
Yeah. And it's funny because we met with Manish and we were telling folks about how this is a tech town and people don't think of it like that way.
Yeah, there's a lot, yeah.
But you moved here for a software engineer.
Generally, yeah. So I worked, ironically, it was sort of film related. I worked in a film warehouse where we shipped movies, the physical reels, that's how long ago it was, to the theaters. And that job was like, we want you to move down to our main office and work on the inventory software. And so I did that thinking that I might only be here a year and then probably go back and get a job at Microsoft or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago.
And so many people I talk to, they come here for opportunity, and it's just like the same story, right?
This one was more not me so much like I was pursuing a career, but thought the career was going to be back in Seattle.
Yeah.
But I came down here pursuing software, and then just ended up.
So then why are you still here?
Well, the honest story is that job. The company shut down months after I was here.
Oh, well, so
and it was
the crap.
So it was in.
Hey,
you should
move, Jeff. You should move to LA.
Yeah. So it was actually an ego thing, where I was like, I can't tell people that I actually lived in Los Angeles if I've only been here for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
So I got to stick it out for a little bit, and then I'll go home, and then I just never. No, judgment on anyone.
Yeah.
I have tons of friends that have moved here and then moved away because it's like it's tough. It's a hard town to live in, but I was able to barely make it work. So.
Do you think LA has? Do you think LA takes people in or spits them out, and they know kind of quickly like it's gonna work, or like it's destiny or it's not?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
So my description to a lot of people is that they people like to compare New York and LA a lot.
Okay.
And one thing that I think is very different about them is in New York, you show up there and they're like, F you, whatever, and you're either in or you're out. And that's it.
Okay, you think it's a faster velocity?
It's fast. In LA, everybody is trying to kick just as much ass, except everyone's like, it's cool, man. Let's go to the beach today. And so there's this vibe of everything's easy, man. I could argue that in some ways it's harder to succeed here because everyone is telling you that all of this is supposed to be easy because it's so chill. We're just hanging. The vibe is mellow, right? Convertibles, like t-shirt weather, just chilling.
And there's always
but you still got to kick ass.
And there's always people that are fronting who aren't successful with.
And that's the thing that they get the bad rap about it being fake. And it's like, fake is the wrong word. There is a vibe here, and that's it. That's the vibe. That's how you live your life. And you're either in the background hustling or you're done and you're out. So like I said, in New York, there's none of that sheen. It's like you're either hustling or you're out, and there is no other picture.
Which I love. I remember the first time I went to New York, and what they tell you is like people are just rude in New York or whatever. And my first encounter with like going to a Hamal cart on the street on 57th, right, in 6th or 5th. And like, what do you want? Like, soup Nazi. And I'm like, oh my God,
It's so refreshing.
This is my tribe. Like, I just here for the food. We don't need to have a conversation. Like,
right. It's not rude. It's just direct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you ever have a moment when you thought, did it ever click like, all right, LA, like, was there a moment where you're like, I'm in?
I don't know if there was a moment. I think it just kind of grew. Like I found friends and people to hang out with. I got this job at a software company, and it's really small, so I became friends with the CEO, Dustin, if you remember.
Yeah.
And so we started hanging out, and we just I started rolling into that, just like things were, I was making it work.
Yeah.
Wasn't making a lot of money, but I was making enough to survive.
Yeah.
But we were still like going out, having dinners and stuff like that, and just I don't know, it just kind of started rolling and having a good time.
You're very social. I think something that Manish, myself, you have all in common. We meet a lot of friends that we work with when we move here.
Yeah.
Do you think an introvert would have a tougher time, or do you think it's just like, hey, just find a job?
Oh, I mean,
And
not
you'll-
necessarily. I mean, it's a pretty social town, I think, but I work with introverts. I mean, I'm in software.
Yeah.
Like, half the people I work with are
On the spectrum.
nerds. Yeah, and they're making good money, and driving nice cars and stuff. And so, no, I don't think that's necessarily. It probably helps,
Yeah.
but I think being social helps everywhere.
A lot of people say LA is a transient town. Hasn't been for you.
Yeah.
It has. I've made a lot of friends that have come here, been here for a few years, and then had to leave.
Why have you stayed?
Oh, so I feel like, well, I do know why I've fallen in love with LA, and that is because I am the type of person that likes big cities. I love New York City, Tokyo,
And
London,
I'd like to
Berlin.
provide some context here. So your mom was a flight attendant.
Or, yeah.
You have been around the world.
Yeah, I've gone to a few places. Yeah,
That's
for sure. Yeah.
He's being modest. You've been a lot of places.
I
How does this
definitely-
compare?
Well, I mean, I think everybody would say about every city, it's definitely different. I don't know if there's any place I would compare it to. I don't know. I mean, it's just it's the LA thing, the weather, that vibe that we talked about earlier about how there's generally this sort of hangout, sort of just having a good time. Like, remember those nights we would sit out in front of your guys' place and just drink beers, and literally people walking their dogs and having beers, and we'd be like, yeah, you want one? And just it was just really just chill, which I'm sure there's plenty of places that have that vibe, but not a place that's one of the biggest cities on the planet. Have this really chill sort of thing, because New York is awesome, right? We all love New York, but it's really intense, right? You go there and it's just it's a lounge.
So with this,
Which I love, but that's very different than here.
yeah, and when I lived in San Francisco, I loved the compactness because it's European.
Yeah, totally.
I had a
Francisco's great.
I had a car that got ticketed every week because I never used it.
Right,
I was
right.
using the stuff I looked for.
Right? Yeah.
And then I sold my car. I'm like, I don't need the car. All it is a problem. Every Tuesday night, I have to go move it. But that compactness, you don't get the hills to go hiking.
Yeah.
LA is a problem because it's spread out, but it's also an advantage.
So now, I think about that a lot. I actually had a conversation with one of the bartenders here about how it trips me out how big it is, because today we were in Whittier today.
Yeah.
I was like, don't think I've ever been to Whittier. Oh, look at this nice street. Look at that restaurant, that little shop. And I'm like, I could probably spend a lifetime going and investigating and getting, this is now my dry cleaner, and and there's 1,000 of those. There's thousands of places that you're probably never going to get to know the guy that works the counter at the market. And while in one case you're like, wow, that kind of sucks, but in another case it's I can go and just decide to reinvent myself tomorrow. I'll just move over there.
Yeah.
I'll just go to Eagle Rock.
10 blocks.
Yeah. But if I move to Eagle Rock tomorrow, everything it's a completely new city.
It would be brand new.
Brand new.
It'd be like starting over. It'd be like
Exactly.
moving to Wichita, man.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and it's all of LA. What would it be like? You only live a 15-minute drive from Koreatown. It's an entirely different world
Completely different.
in that, and it's just right down the street.
Well, so this is another thing. My friends that live on the west side, it's almost like they live another state over. I have to make a really concerted effort to go.
It's on the other side of the planet as far as we're concerned. I mean, no, it's not like a diss or anything. It's just you think in your head and you're like, we're here in the valley, and somebody's like, yeah, we're in Santa Monica, and you're just like,
man, I gotta get on the phone. Do you think LA has changed you?
I mean, I think it'd be ridiculous to say that it hasn't. I mean, sure.
Okay. How?
I don't know. I don't know if I've actually ever thought of that.
Well, for the record, you're pretty much still There's so much of you the same as the first day I know you.
Sure, yeah. I think I know what it might be. So in Seattle, we were a little bit of a smaller group. I had my core friends, and maybe it's the Seattle Freeze. I of course wouldn't have known that when I was there. But I came here and I had to, kind of get out there and kind of. It turns out I was a social person. I thought I was a bit more of an introvert, but I like to go out, and so I kind of had to make some friends. And I got lucky in meeting, friends, and then like met guys in famous rock bands, and we'd go hang out and party till 4 a.m, and like they're still friends, still say hi to them, So I had to become. I feel like when I first got here, I had to actively push myself to like kind of be more social in area like with strangers and like go to parties where I didn't know anyone, which is kind of uncomfortable.
Okay.
So I think I had to do that, and then I, fairly quickly made a good group of friends. And things we were talking about earlier, I do think LA is a bit of a transient place. People move here, it doesn't work out, so they move away. That being said, I've made a ton of really great friends here that are still here.
One of the recurring themes that I like to refute, and I want to get your take on this. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Is LA fake?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew you were going to ask this.
Okay.
Yeah, so the response to that is, I have never been able to find these people that everyone is talking about. Yes. So, yes, of course, there are. Every city, you get more than 20 people together, and somebody's going to be kind of a right?
Yeah.
That's everywhere on the planet, no matter where you go. LA is a densely populated area, so yeah, there's a lot of those people. And every friend I've ever made here are like lifelong level friends. They're like some of the nicest, most sincere, greatest people that I've ever met. I either met here or actually met here and are from here. The one thing that everyone should remember is that LA is filled with people that are not from here. So when everybody's like, everybody in LA is fake, it's like, yeah, but they're from your town. So I guess, they're saying that the fake ones are moving here, but it's like, dude, they're fake people everywhere. I find it effortless to not run into these people.
Okay, so one of the reasons I picked this place, there's a number of reasons. Jeff and I are both history buffs, and we'll get into history in just a second. But this is the first tiki bar in LA.
No, not first tiki.
Oh, which one? Was it tiki?
Well, we'll get into the history, but
Okay.
the first one, it was 1933, Don the Beachcomber. It's not that big.
Don the Beachcomber, right.
This is the oldest still surviving.
Right.
It was opened in 1958.
Okay, this is Tonga. Now, how does Tiki Tea fit in? Because they've been around forever, too.
Since 1961.
Ah, okay,
So Don the Beachcomber opens in 1933, the invention of the first tiki bar in the world, invented a Hollywood invention. This opened in 1958, and then Tiki Tea owned in 1961.
Okay. And in case you missed that, tiki bars are an invention of LA.
Yeah, by Don Beach.
And you are the proud
Right.
recipient, thrice
Right.
over.
Right. So, the Loyal Order of the Drooling Bastards, which is a thing that two regulars that used to come here and the bar manager Marie came up with, which is there's a book by Jeff Berry you can buy on Amazon where he, as I said, the archaeologist of tiki drinks.
Yes.
So he found all these recipes, and in fact, a lot of the recipes that you see now, like the Jungle Bird, he rediscovered this. So you
Really?
get this recipe is in his book, but it's from a restaurant in the 70s in like Malaysia or something like that. So anyway, the Loyal Order of the Drooling Bastards is in this bar. Within a year, if you drink all 78 of the drinks in the grog log, by the way, not all of them are good drinks. Some of them are not great. You drink all 78 of them, you get to become a member of the Loyal, and you get a little plaque on the wall. My wife
it's like
I have one.
It's like the Boy Scouts.
Right, exactly. So he also did another book called Intoxica that has another 74, 5, something like that drinks in it. I forget the number. If you drink those, you become an intoxicated bastard? Yeah.
Oh,
Not a drooling bastard, you're now an intoxicated bastard.
How they
Yeah.
some like different labels like
Yeah, that's just a thing at this bar.
Sergeant
And so what happens is on our plaques in there's actually a little gold Moai drilling bastard that gets stuck to the side of your plaque.
Oh, wow. What are some things about LA history that crosses your mind? Is like, hey, this is cool.
So there's a lot. Man.
It's hard to pick just one.
I know there is. I love the fact that all the theaters downtown were a lot of them were vaudeville theaters. I think it's hilarious that all of downtown LA has secret underground tunnels where they ran booze during Prohibition and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. And you can still get to them and do something, and most of it's walled off.
So I look at these photos. I forget what year they channelized the LA River, but you like to see those cars stuck in mud, like going to pass. Like the city is so young.
You know, I'll tell you one thing that is actually shocking to me, being from Seattle, the citrus thing. I've told you this story before. So one night, late night, drinking with that rock and roll crowd, just like at somebody's house. And there's no limes in the kitchen for my vodka, soda, or whatever I was drinking. And I'm like, you got no limes left? And he's like, yeah, just go in the backyard and get one. And I was like, why do you have your limes in the backyard? And he's like, from the tree.
Yeah, you fool.
And I was like, you have a lime tree? Like, being from the Northwest, it blew my mind. And then it was you that told me, I was like, dude, the entire valley was filled with orange trees. And now I have an orange tree, a grapefruit tree, and a lemon tree in my backyard.
Yeah, there was development prior to World War II, but it was the post-World War II.
Yeah.
From 45 to 75.
Where they nuked it, everything. Yeah, they cut down all those trees.
This is, my dad was born in 42. My mom and dad both born in 42, and it's like, it's not that long ago.
No, the valley didn't exist then.
My grandparents were like born in like 1910.
Yeah.
And I'm like, people were still riding horses in downtown LA in 1910.
Yes, yeah, they were.
So, you go to Florence, Italy, and it's like, oh, this is 1400. This is, We're a young country, and LA is one of the youngest cities. It's also the second biggest city, and I just feel like this place is like
I actually
to New York.
It's really big. A fact I'm always fascinated by is there are more people in California than Canada.
Yeah.
There's a bigger population in California than
California's
Canada.
33 million, and
That's like 31 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like a couple million more.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Cheers, brother. Thank you for being gracious with your time.
No problem. Welcome back to the Tonga Hat. It's been a couple months since you've been here.
Yeah. If I ever do a video about history,
Okay.
we will do that.
Okay.
We'll get your wife involved, who's also a history buff. She follows all the same history stuff on Instagram I follow.
We'll try. Yeah.
Maybe we'll tour your home.
Sure. We'd be lucky.
Jeff and his lovely wife Salvi bought a celebrity's home.
Did.
And it was an older property, and instead of changing it, they actually went through, what do you call it, not a restoration, but
Well, the reason we bought it is because Rosemary,
from the Dick
Van Dyke Show, it's basically the same house from 1949 when it was built. Like the 1949 Thermidor oven is still there, and we use it all the time. And so, since we're history buffs and preservationist type people, everything that we do to the house is like, we got to go. I spend, it's painful. I'll spend months researching, searching, and finding it. So we have a very historic, at least we're trying, as Southie calls it, a time capsule house. You're supposed to feel like when you walk in that you stepped into the 50s.
So instead of a remodel, preservation.
Preservationist, yes. I would say preservationist.
Right on. Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeff and I shared a few laughs over some tiki drinks, and he shared a lot about what makes LA work for him, including the networking opportunities. But there's another important thing that can make or break your experience here, so check out this deep dive where I'll show you what it is and how you can make living in LA the best experience ever. If you're making the move to LA, it's good to work with insiders, and my team and I would love to help. Just call Email or text to get started. I'm Tony Mariotti. See you in the next video.